Hi, Martin here from MDP Web Development. Today we're going to talk about Visual Studio Code Editor, what it is, how to get it, and how to use it for HTML, CSS and JavaScript for web development. Be sure to stick around to the end though, we're going to see our setup in action. This video is beginner friendly. Let's get started. So, before we can do any web development, we need to download and install a code editor. A code editor is a tool that allows us to edit the code we will use to create our website or web app. Code editors are very powerful these days. We can edit our website code. We can also see a preview of what our website looks like as we edit. We can do all our development and debugging in one place. How cool is that? They also allow us to publish our website to the internet if we choose to do so. The code editor we'll use is called Visual Studio Code and works on Windows, Mac and Linux, and is probably the best and most widely used code editor in the world. First, download the installer from here, code.visualstudio.com/download, or go to Google and type in Vscode and click on download. So let's go to Google and download Visual Studio Code Editor. So just go to Google and type in Visual Studio Code Download. We can see here it's the top link. I'll click on this. You can see you can download it for any operating system you might have, Windows or Debian, Ubuntu or Mac. So click on the one for your operating system. I'm using Windows 10. Now you can see here in the top right corner, the download has started. And the download message here, in case it doesn't start. So let's just fast forward to the download. Now you can see the download is finished. So now we're going to click on the file. And here we have the setup agreement for Visual Studio Code. You have to click I accept the agreement once you've read through all the software terms and conditions. Then next. By default it puts it in this folder. If you'd like to put it in a different one you can select browse. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And I'm going to also leave the name of it as it is. Now here we want to create a desktop icon so that we can just click on the icon on the desktop and open up Visual Studio Code. So additional icons, I'm going to click on create a desktop icon and next. Now that it's all ready, we can review the details here. Visual Studio folder, create a desktop icon and install. This might be different depending on what OS you're running on your computer. And here we have it finally installed. And if you want to, you can launch Visual Studio Code Editor when you click finish by clicking this box here. I'm going to leave this checked to launch it and have a look. And here we are, Visual Studio Code Editor. Now that we have VS Code on our local machine, let's have a quick look at the various parts. So, here on the left, you can see we have the Explorer view. We can open and create files here for our project. Here, we have the search bar. We can search and replace code in our project. This is very powerful if you want to change some code in lots of files very fast. Next, we have version control. This allows us to track changes in our code and also to publish our code to the internet if we choose to do so. This is where version control software like Git can be connected. The Run and Debug section allows us to debug and find out why our code doesn't work. Finally, we have the Extensions bar. The extensions bar allows us to install many useful extensions, like one called Prettier. This automatically formats our code to look a certain way and tidies it up for us so that it all looks good and is easy to read. So let's go ahead and install the Prettier extension. So go to the extensions bar and type in Prettier. See Prettier Code Formatter. Make sure the name of the publisher is Prettier and click the Install button. Now that it's installed, we need to set it up. Let's close the extensions bar and the Prettier page again. Go to Manage and Settings and type in editor.default space formatter. Then select Prettier Vscode. And here also. Next, we want Prettier to format our code when we save it. So type in editor.formatOnSave, all one word. And click here. And make sure File is selected. Now, let's set up autosave so that we don't lose any code changes. VS Code will automatically save our code when we change it. Search for autosave, all one word. And select a delay of 1000 milliseconds or 1 second. And set autosave to after delay. Let's just clear the screen before we move on. Next, we want to install a HTML and CSS extension. This will help autocomplete lots of CSS and HTML code for us. Go to Extensions and type HTML CSS. You can see HTML CSS support and install it. Now we want to install JavaScript Code Snippets extension. This will help us with our JavaScript coding. It will allow us to create snippets of JavaScript by using short triggers. Go to Extensions and type JavaScript. And see JavaScript snippets. Click on Install. Now we can close it out. Now, let's install a live server. This will allow us to see our code as we edit it on an actual web page on our own server. This server is on our desktop machine, so we say it is run on our local environment. So go to Extensions and type in Live Server. And select it. You can see here it has nearly 50 million downloads, so it's very popular. Click Install and close everything down. And that's a great start for our web development. In the next section, we'll create a basic HTML web page.